it's Lisa. I have a scrapbook process video for us today. We're going to be using five 4-inch by 4-inch photos. So I've got 3 down here in a row and then 3 going across this way. Kind of forms a T, but I don't think it looks too much like that when you add in the title and all the other elements for the page. These photos were taken in Savannah, Georgia. We go to Hilton Head Island every year, as that's our beach. Everybody in this part of the country has their beach they go to, and that's ours. And once in a while we go to Savannah for the day, and we did this time, and it's been a long time since we've been there, and it's so beautiful. You just can't go anywhere in the city without being almost assaulted by the gorgeous architecture that you see everywhere. And spring is an especially lovely time to be in Savannah. So I took a few photos, and my husband took a really good picture of me, I think, in the park. I'm wearing this weird looking scarf because I got sunburned on the beach and I needed to cover myself up so I wouldn't get sunburned on the bike. Savannah by bicycle is, in my opinion, the best way to see it. Driving, you go through everything too fast and it's just too big to walk it. It's a good sized city. But there's all these wonderful little parks, and there's Forsyth Park, the largest park that has this fountain. So anyway, I've got some great photos that I want to put on my page. What I'm going to end up with here is 8-inch by 4-inch pattern paper sections. And when I think of 8-inch paper, I think of October Afternoon. Now, of course, I could take some 12-inch stuff and cut it down, but I just think October Afternoon would be perfect for this. So I pulled out some of my October Afternoon, which I store in these page protectors like I do my 6x6 pads. And I've got, I have one that just has a bunch of old stuff that I still have little bits of, and I liked this paper out of that. I thought this sort of old-fashioned look was good. I really thought I would find something in the Travel Girl collection, but the ones that I thought were the prettiest were in red. And that's just a little too bold. Like, this is a beautiful pattern, looks like old wallpaper, but it's just too bold for the layout here color-wise. So there are some stickers though, and I do need a sticker for my layout, so I might want those stickers out here. And I might want a border sticker, although I think I'm going to be doing most of my cutting on the silhouette for the borders. Now, the Travel Girl collection surprisingly has some good choices, so let's pull that out again and take a look at it. I thought these would be a little too modern, but I think these are pretty for Savannah. I mean, the architecture there covers a lot of different eras, and so you can do a lot of things. This is a nice basic color that I could use with the gray, so that's a possibility. And I really like this. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use this one, because I thought the flowers, the pink flowers, were perfect for that time of the year, and it's just really suited. Blue green. Oh, that's pretty too. Now this looks like kind of like old wallpaper as well. I hadn't noticed this page. So I've got that, and let's see, let's pull that other one out that I liked so much at the beginning. So it's probably going to be 2 of those 3 sheets on here. Let's see which ones look the best with our photos. Well, I know I want this one. I like both of them. Well, I haven't decided yet, and I'm going to use this one. These 2, I think I'm going to wait until I get my title picked, and what this is on the sketch is I want to do something that looks like all this ornate grill work that you find all over the city. I want to cut something out of black cardstock that looks like that will go right underneath 2 of the photos, and maybe one at the top as well. And we're going to have a title that has something like Rediscovering Savannah or Revisiting Savannah, and do Savannah in script down here. Probably put a flower on here, and then I had in mind maybe doing a sticker. That's a good sticker, or this one that's more the blue-green color. So there's several things that I could use there as well. So looks like we're going to be working with the Travel Girl papers, and I'll need to crop these photos. Now when I was printing them, I pretty much decided I was going to do 4x4s, and I went ahead and cropped this one to 4x4s, but the others I couldn't quite decide where I wanted to crop them at. So I decided to crop them manually. So let me pull my paper cutter over here. I don't do this very often, but I'll pull the paper cutter over here and show you how I crop stuff manually. See, it's big, and it's old. I've had this. I was scrapbooking when I bought this. In fact, it's one of the reasons I bought it. But I was also using it for other things, and I wanted the good office, the sturdy office kind, because that's, you know, when I started scrapbooking, I didn't know there was a scrapbooking hobby. So I didn't know there were paper trimmers made specifically for scrapbooking. I'm not sure there were back then. But I also used it for some home business things too. So that's, I think, I was using it for a lot of that as well. Now for something like this, I need 4 inches. I'm going to use the full width, and then I need to cut 4 inches at the top. So he is on here. This is 1 inch, 2, 3, 4. So he's, if I keep his feet in there, I'm going to lose, I have to take off part of the head. So I think I want to leave part of the head on there and just drop some of the feet off. So that's how I'll go about doing my cropping. Okay, let's do another one since I moved that over. This one's pretty easy. I'm just going to put me in the middle. So I'm at the 2-inch mark. Now, I don't have to be in the middle, but I think that in this case I like that look. Okay. So that's those two. All right, now something like this is a little more challenging because where do I take the 4 inches? Do I like leave a whole tree or put this in the middle? I think I'll probably put like this part right here in the middle, and and so I'm just lining that up with the 2-inch mark, roughly. This one we've already got. And then the fountain is the same thing. So it's just a matter of kind of putting the statue there in the center. So sometimes you're not lining up the center, but that's how most of these worked out. Okay. And so I just printed them as 4x6s and then cropped them down to what I wanted them to be. And so now, let's see, I want us here on the outside, and then I really like that. Go like that way. Okay, so there's my T. So we know we're going to use this paper, and then one or the other. I need something calmer. I probably need this paper. I like both of them. I think the fact that this is so light compared to the others makes it show up a little too much. I think I'd rather have 2 papers that are of similar depth of color, similar saturation, and this one I'm going to have to trim it so that I've got my little flowers here going the right direction, but you get the idea of how I want to do this. So I'm going to do a 4-inch cut for each of these, and then we'll put this on a 12x12 backing, and we can go ahead and add the other pieces. So we're going to start gluing some of this down to an older piece of thin designer paper. I use these a lot for backgrounds, and I try to pick something that matches color-wise because sometimes I will have a little gap somewhere, and I did on this one. One of those pieces of October Afternoon paper, I decided to run the opposite direction of what it was meant to run, and I just cut it a little short, I guess. So it's going to, that one at the top there is going to not quite fill up the page, but that's okay. I decided it would work, and I never really thought any more about it, and the page got done. I took photographs of it and never noticed it anymore, so I guess that was okay. Now I'm going to slip these die cuts in. These were cut from the Silhouette, a couple of different die cut files.
to do some of this sort of ornate grill work kind of look, and I'm using a zig marker to put these on. It feels like forever since I've done a process video. I have been working on a project with several videos in a series, but it's the kind of thing where I'm going to have to get all of it done before I can start publishing it. And of course also we made this trip. So around here, if everybody's well and we don't have a lot of doctor's appointments, you better take your trips when you can. So we did, and fortunately we got to stay an entire week. It was heaven. All right, now, and of course by that I didn't have anything queued up to have for you for a video. So we're back to doing process videos, and we're going to add the word revisiting using some thickers, and then I'll do Savannah cut with the die cutter. I didn't show the silhouette piece on camera because I just picked my designs and cut them. There wasn't anything really special about it. And I am going to put this in the center. I'd originally planned to put this title to the left, but since that die cut is centered, very centered, centered kind of design, then I need to put the title over it the same way. So it's like the right-hand side of the page, everything is in the center, and then the left-hand side of the page is just some supporting photos. So we're deciding on some flowers. These are both Prima flowers that I picked up at Tuesday Mornings. They were in a shopping video a month or so ago. Got them real inexpensively, and I've already used a couple of the flowers so far. And the sticker I put a little bit further up at the top, away from that centered design, so it wouldn't look like it was just something that was off-center. I was doing a video a little while back, and I don't remember what I was doing in there, but somebody mentioned in the comments that to put your journaling on vellum, and reminded me of that. I used to do that all the time, and I really appreciate that comment because I kind of forgotten. You know, I just don't do the journaling on vellum as much as I used to, and in this case it was the perfect thing because it really helped it to show up.
So we followed our sketch pretty closely here with the page. I just put the sticker a little bit higher up, a little bit more away from the centered portion of the design, because I thought that putting it down here might make it look like it wasn't quite lined up good. And I see a little bit of black there that I need to cut out, and a couple of middle bits that I need to punch out. Okay. So I'll punch those out before I take my final photos of this, but we can go ahead and get a close-up look of the page. And I think adding this die cut pieces that look like the scroll work that you find in so much of Savannah's architecture really goes to the theme of the page. We've got a pretty flower for spring and some very small print, but it did show up, and I can read that. It is pretty tiny, but I was able to get a lot of journaling on the page that way, and utilize some pretty October afternoon papers that go with this sort of old-fashioned historical kind of look for the page. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked the video, I'd love to get a thumbs up. You can find the sketch over on my blog, and if you're interested in other sketches for your scrapbooking, be sure and check out my sketchbooks from the last 3 years that include the sketches to scale. These, when you print them out, are 6 inches by 6 inches, so you just take any element or the position of any element and double it, and you can see exactly where things go. They have substitutions to them, links back to the videos that were where the sketch was used. So you get lots and lots of ideas in those sketchbooks. Thanks again for watching.